Human morality is unthinkable without empathy. Franz de Waal. But let's get into it on the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Thank you guys so much for taking time in your day. And shout out to Michael, a new paid subscriber on buymeacoffee.com. I really appreciate it. You're amazing. Thank you for putting your money where your mouth is. It melts my heart. If you want to be like Michael, be as amazing as Michael, you can go into the show notes or go into the description of the video. And you can be a paid member as well, and it would mean a lot to me if you did. It's like a big F you to corporate media saying, you know what, I support these people more than I want to support you, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you don't have money like myself and you want to support me, you could share this on all social media platforms. It would mean a lot to me. But this clip was passed around everywhere late last night, and I watched it and I thought, holy crap. Not only is this incredibly honest, but it's everything we've been thinking about for so long. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Silicon Valley billionaire, Golden State Warrior. I even looked up the pronunciation, and I'm still like, I don't know. I try my best with pronunciations. I try to look up people's names. I don't want to be just that typical American piece of trash that won't find out about my culture. Silicon Valley billionaire, Golden State Warrior, minority owner, Chamath Palihapitiya, 45 years old, sparks outrage after saying nobody cares about China's genocide of the Uyghur Muslims before fiercely being backpedaled. Okay, but let's listen to the clip because I think it's always important to, hear from the horse's mouth per se, rather than just reading an article, because you can never trust a title of an article, especially because nothing like a good title to take a clip completely out of context. But let's go to the clip itself and let's listen for ourselves.
Nobody cares about nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs, okay? You bring it up because you really care, and I think that's nice that you care. The rest of us don't care. I'm just telling you a very hard.
Wait, you're saying you personally don't care?
I'm telling you a very hard, ugly truth. Okay, of all the things that I care about, yes, it is below my line. Okay, of all the things that I care about, it is below my line.
Disappointing.
Nobody.
And your first thought is just, wow, what a piece of trash, what an asshole. Because that was my first initial thought. But then I started thinking more deeply about the issue of the Uyghur Muslims itself, because it seems like our government doesn't give a crap, as Joe Biden has said before. It's just a cultural thing. It's different. They're just a different people, and we need to, it's bad, but, it's China. What are we going to do? What are we going to say? We're going to say anything? It's just Germany. Let them do their thing. And I've always wondered, why does it feel like nobody cares? Why does it feel like we talk about Uyghur Muslims and talk about the genocide, talk about everything that's going on, talk about them being in internment camps, talk about them being in forced labor, talk about them as the NBA partners with China, as so does everyone in Hollywood. They partner with China. In fact, in stuff like in Mulan, they use people in the same region for the movie. And then they thank the guards and stuff like that, or people that are part of the movie. And so the average human should go, 1 + 2 is not equaling 5 at the moment, because nothing makes sense about this situation. So when I heard this for the first time, I thought, finally, someone has the cojones to actually say what's going on. These tech millionaires, billionaires like this guy, this is what they believe, a lot of them. And because I've always wondered, why does Apple still deal with stuff like that, and Microsoft and stuff like. Nobody cares about these. They don't hold these people accountable. See, this is when capitalism should rush in, and when you and I hear these things, we look up who this guy is affiliated with, and then we choose not to give our money to these people anymore. I feel like in some ways we've lost a little bit of that in America. I think we need to go back to putting our money where our mouth is, to things that we want to support, to companies that speak for us, instead of these companies that push this crazy propaganda to stuff that we do not believe, and then yet we continue to purchase from them. I know a lot of things that we don't have a choice in life, but the things that we do have a choice in, our local farmers and stuff like that. We can put money where our mouth is and help people that actually believe the same things we believe to support the ecosystem we want to support. And I think this says a lot about this guy. I love this guy. So it's my favorite part in the whole article. This is the most typical thing you would assume of some of these people. This guy is a venture capitalist whose fund's mission is to advance humanity by solving the world's hardest problems. Advance humanity by solving the world's hardest problems. How about, I don't know, maybe an internment camp or, any kind of genocide is something that would be assumed to be, a rather hard problem. Of course, this guy, Democrat, gives millions of dollars, tons of money to Democrats. Of course, he's an advocate for things of the past. But I think before you and I jump on the bandwagon of saying what a piece of crap human being, because I agree, he ultimately is. I think he is a perfect temperament to a lot of our class leaders, our elitist leaders. He's just a minority owner for the Warriors. Please don't stop patroning the Warriors. Please don't stop buying our jerseys. But I think you and I need to go back and look about where our money goes. Human morality is unthinkable without empathy. It's hard to tell somebody what's right and wrong in life when they do not have morality to begin with. So when you and I go to this guy and question him as a human being and ask if he's good or a decent human being that should be trusted or should be in leadership, how he is, he doesn't have the morale, he doesn't have the capacity to be condemned. So any kind of apology, any kind of slow down mentality where he has to think about what he said and ask for forgiveness is all a lie. It's just for money. He doesn't have the capacity. And so many of our world leaders are at that point where even some of us are at that point where we're starting to look at each other without empathy anymore. And therefore our morality is completely gone. When we don't recognize each other as human beings first before we engage in one another is where we've lost in the culture war. And it's understandable for so long, so many people on the left and the right have just accused people and said horrible things about people without recognizing them as humans first. And so my encouragement to you, something I want to push onto you and push onto myself and think about is to always see the humanistic side of a person before we just judge their character, judge who they are, judge their personality, judge their actions. Because when we can see somebody as human first, then we can slow down a little bit and not be over the top and not be like 12-year-old little boys and girls who are just ganging up on the playground saying things that everyone else is saying, like little dolphins. So maybe you will push this encouragement onto yourself and onto to yourself to be a better person, to be somebody who sees the other as human first and not be like this piece of trash who are saying, you know what, I'm too busy right now to recognize another human being. I'm too rich. I'm benefiting too much from the system that's already in place over in places like China. I don't want to speak up because ultimately, out of mind, out of sight, right, bro? It's like when I see these things going on in the inner cities, like we saw, there's a story being passed around of a UCLA grad student being stabbed to death at her shop. I can't imagine being stabbed to death. Also, 31 people were shot in Chicago. As we read these stories, we have to remember that these are human beings first, and they're not just a statistic. They're not just to make Democrats or Republicans look bad or politicians look bad or mayors or, governors or whatever system they want to put in place, but we need to see the humanistic side of people first. And don't play the games of the media. Don't play the games of these politicians that just want us to pit each other up against each other. But see truth as truth and see humans as humans first, and then critique maybe what they do. So don't be like this piece of trash human being. And yes, I see him as human, but I see his morality completely gone. My empathy for him is that he is so lost. He could look at somebody abusing a child and think, I just don't know what to do with this situation. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to think about these things. I don't have time to think about these things. It's like our food industry. Some of the things that go on in our food industry, they're like, I just don't have time to really press into what's going on with how these animals are treated, or the way in which we get our meat, or the way we treat our farmers. Who's buying up all the... Like, why is my cell phone so cheap? Why are my shoes so cheap that aren't made in America? We need to get back to a society of seeing humans first, and then choosing where to put our pocketbook, our money, because that's important. That is how we vote in a capitalistic society. Stop just voting with your dollars for whatever's cheaper, but stand for something. Buy from companies you believe in. Buy from people that treat people right. Instead of propping up guys like this that see Uyghur Muslims and go, I don't know, I don't care. It's not affecting my pocketbook, so why should I care? And people wonder why so many people in Germany during the Nazi regime that had these camps going on, they're like, I don't know. I didn't look into it. I was too busy. Out of mind, out of sight. I saw what was going on, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know for sure. I didn't walk over to the camp and look for myself. So how can you judge me? Let me know your thoughts on this, because I think this is a telling of where we're at culturally, and not seeing each other with empathy to the point where we have billionaires saying the thing that is very obvious, saying the thing we've all been thinking about. Why does it seem like these politicians and tech billionaires not give a crap about some of the practices going on in some of these countries? Because they've been doing it for years and no one's cared. Why do you think they take all their manufacturing to other countries? Because their labor laws are a lot more chill. People are like in China and Apple, where people were just jumping off the roof and they had their suicide nets. Thank God I got that new iPhone for $300, so praise God for that. I hope you guys have a freaking fantastic day. But as always, let's grow. Let's be better people. And not be a douchebag like this guy. Have a great day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I got another segment coming out a little later, but I love you. Share this on all social media platforms, or else. Okay, bye.